Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 Pro Bots cast. We have got ourselves two bots fighting to the death for our amusement, which is why it will be no surprise when the inevitable AI revolution comes and they destroy us all. But anyway, jokes aside, in the top left we have got a bot that I'm very excited to see. It's VeTerran. VeTerran, whatever you want to call it. Revived, actually. Don't blame me, guys, for my pronunciation. I just have the names to go off of, and I'm a Terran player. We can't read. Yeah, so jokes aside, VeTerran is a bot that I always enjoyed watching, but it became a little stale when it stopped getting updates. But seeing that it's revived, if it's going to be getting more updates, it's something very exciting, because watching these bots develop is one of the best parts. Now, we have a very dirty cheese from the other bot called Zozo, actually doing a heck of a mineral drill, just waiting for that SCV to go to the wrong side of town. That is actually so sick. That can only be done with unlimited bot APM. Just waiting for an SCV to path into the wrong location, going for a pro brush against VeTerran. Unfortunately for Zozo, this SCV is not pathing to the other side of the map. And ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how we got 10 probes, or maybe it's more than 10 probes, curled into a ball, let's go for 10 likes on this video. We interestingly had enough tag return home partially 135 from Zozo. After no SCV pathed into that position. They basically just killed one right out the gate, and then none of the others pathed over to that side, which is quite unfortunate. Almost makes me want to watch another game of Zozo up against a Terran, because that could be a very strong build. Love the unlimited APM pro brushes. But, yeah, let's see how Zozo is going to follow this up. Obviously a massive setback with that opening. No jokes aside, if a Protoss does this on ladder and they don't manage to kill the opponent, they're usually dead. There's no way around it. And now we're seeing two more of those probes go down. Zozo's going to have to contend with a Reaper when the gateway is just finishing up. There's not going to be energy to chrono out a Zealot. So, depending on the lethality of VeTerran's Reaper, we're going to see a lot of dead probes here. So two more Reapers are actually on the way. Oh gosh, this could actually just be game over here. As these Reapers cross the map, some probes are pulled. Unfortunately, the probes do have unlimited pullback micro, and I guess that there's not much counterplay there for VeTerran, in the sense that like when probes are chasing the Reaper just retreats. It doesn't try and dance around them at all. Unlike some other bots, like I believe Micro Machine would try and do that. But yeah, so Zozo actually not losing really any workers just yet. The Reaper's constantly being chased away. Now there's a Zealot out, which is a big deal. We'll see how well they're going to kite against this. So they don't actually do too well. They're just going to jump up and down that cliff, dancing around, coming back, going to jump back down. That Zealot is buying a lot of time, which is big for Zozo. And yeah, you see the development here. Another gateway, Robo on the way. Stalker's on the way out. Reaper's being chased away. Good pullback micro from Zozo. Barely any probes have died, everything considered. Okay, those probes run the long way home. A Stalker is about to pop out. That should shut down the Reaper harassment, mainly for good. I'm going to start shooting away on those Reapers. However, unfortunately, it popped out on the wrong side of the wall. Probes are pulled once more. Lots of lost binding time. The Stalker is now engaging the Reapers. Going to chase them away, and that should, in theory, keep Zozo alive. And, yeah, we'll see how Zozo is going to follow this up. I get the feeling that it's going to be some counter aggression here, or follow-up aggression, I suppose, just based on the fact that if a bot is relying on a probe brush early on, it might not necessarily have that much depth. I could potentially be proven very wrong here, and maybe shouldn't make such generalizations, but let's take a look here. Reaper goes down. Nice pick off for Zozo. One less of those to deal with. But of course, while this is going on, we've got VeTerran going for a bunker, a tank at the natural. The magical duo. That is just the most solid Terran defense that you can go for. A bunker and a siege tank gets you so far playing against Protoss at your natural base. It just defends against so much shenanigans. Now, the Stalker count is going up for Zozo, We'll see how this game's going to develop here. If it's just going to be stalkers being produced here for Zozo into an attack, if there's a bunker and a tank at the natural, I am very concerned. However, if VeTerran moves out, there's the potential that this army could get caught out by the high number of stalkers. We'll have to wait and see. There is a prism on the way as well, so that's going to give lead to micro for that. Zozo is really just one base in it. This is one of my ladder games right here. Now, let's take a look. Another Raven on the way. VeTerran, I think, shouldn't be in too much trouble, but we'll see as it goes up this ramp. Widowmine going to die. Tries to burrow, dies. Let's see. Cyclone gets a lock on one of the stalkers. Will that stalker be lifted up? Yes, it is. Reaper's given high ground vision is a darn big deal for VeTerran. However, there is the Raven too, so they are not the only source of high ground vision. Medivac there too as well. Stalkers being microed with the prism is a pretty big deal. However, that tank now on the low ground going to get some shots off. We'll see how well this prism micros those stalkers. So far pretty well, but oh, they're letting the tank get away. Oh no. Let's see, can Zozo make a kill happen off the back of that cheesy opening? Just stalkers, an immortal on the way, and a prism. I've seen crazier things happen as the red Terran is having to retreat, investing in things like a turret. I mean, that helps against some harassment, but I don't know about a stalker push right to the front. A Reaper is being chased by these stalkers, which is quite a big drag for Zozo, potentially delaying any sort of advance. Now, let's take a look. SCV's on the way here. Still being produced by VeTerran. The army supply is 37 to 27, so there's potential this attack could work. Marauder goes down, that's a good start. Auto turret gets tossed out, but the stalkers will actually cut through that pretty quickly. The main problem here is going to be breaking the tanks for Zozo, and oh my gosh, Zozo is going for it, but the 3 tanks. What's better than 1 tank at the natural? It's 3, as now there's only 2 stalkers left. I guess technically there's 5. Keep in mind that these have all been getting produced just off unupgraded gateways, and I think VeTerran Terran is doing pretty darn good here so far this game, unless there's a big counter swing once more. But 3 tanks is no joke. This Terran has been building up 42 workers, lots of production, and while the cheese was very cool for Zozo, I'm quite concerned for the blue bot. Okay, tank sieging up. There is the 2 immortals. If they dive on the tanks, that would be good, but bots and diving don't necessarily go too well together, as it's just pretty much impossible to program. Well, maybe not impossible, but very darn difficult. Now let's take a look here. The immortals are in the army. The tanks are sieging up. Are they going to go for it? Yeah, they're shooting at the tanks, but the tanks are getting shots off. Okay. They've gone down now. There's 3 immortals. This is the potential counter swing that I was talking about. I still think that VeTerran should be fine, but you never know. Now that those tanks are gone, they really were the things that cut through all those stalkers. And with 3 immortals in this army, you're telling me there's a chance. Army supply is in favor of the Protoss. VeTerran is going for a 3rd base, which is a little greedy. I like the bunker on the 3rd, but still a little greedy. Siege tank up, but now down. A bunker not going to finish up. And all of a sudden, Zozo is going for the kill. Did I speak too soon? I was kind of like, oh, Zozo, they ain't looking too hot. But then again, the bot with the simple plan sometimes does surprisingly well. Let's take a look here. Immortal's going to cut through that turret. The Marauders aren't standing a chance against these Immortals. The Prism is working wonders here for Zozo, keeping these units alive. And this 1 tank in the back is getting some good shots off, but the Immortals do step forward. They're going to kill that off. And all of a sudden, VeTerran's in a lot of trouble. SCVs are pulled to repair Medivacs and a Raven. They need to repair a bunker with units in it, but there's no such units. And I am quite concerned here for VeTerran. This is actually going to be nuts if VeTerran dies here. And the only thing that I can think of that will save VeTerran is if Zozo says, okay, that's enough, and goes home. But based on the fact that Zozo is still 1-basing like a champ, I think that Zozo is in it to win it. Let's take a look. The 4 immortals just gun down that turret right away, but this 1 tank on the high ground is working wonders there. Can Zozo see this tank? Yes, it can. It's just not picking it off. There we go. It goes down. So I believe 1 immortal died there, but there's still 4 in total. And what a game this is. I was like, oh man, this game's going to be over pretty quick. No, Zozo is striking back hard. VeTerran does have the high ground to hold on. There is a tank being set up on the high ground. Now that's a darn big deal. However, the Protoss is ascending the ramp, very clumped up. That tank will get some ginormous shots off, and I'm not sure if Zozo will be able to break this position, deciding to retreat on back. But yeah, the tank getting some big shots off. The Protoss army isn't looking too hot. These this one base is starting to run out of gas here, and while VeTerran is trapped on one base now, basically, it's still got much more longevity here with the command center floated. Look at that, even dropping a mule at the natural. Big deal there, and Zozo does decide to go home, but can VeTerran be baited down this ramp? That could potentially be all that it takes. Zozo is looking to attack on in. Immortals have their hardened shields popped. One almost goes down, saved by the prism, but this is a concern here for Zozo. Sometimes bots just will not attack if they don't have enough units. If there's like, oh, there's no chance I'll win this fight, or I don't have enough units to attack. But it's not like Zozo's getting out a lot more units here at this point. Another Immortal goes down. Oh man, I thought Zozo was gonna do it, but gets pushed back, and time is definitely not on the blue bot's side. That being said, there's only 17 workers for VeTerran, but we're not even seeing long distance mining here from the probes of Zozo. I mean, I get it, kind of having the probes hanging out here for redundancy, but they could very well be long distance mining in this situation. Two Immortals and a Prism, classic duo. Let's see, gonna cancel that base. There is the one tank. Can they get the tank? That's the big question. One commits on in, but oh, they chicken out. Another one dives on in, but SCVs are repairing the tank. Stalkers moving forward. The empty bunker being prioritized over the siege tank. The Immortals constantly dancing back, and yeah, this is the problem of sometimes bots not committing in enough. This has given VeTerran a lot of time. Okay, the Immortals, yeah, just all getting shot down here. Another one dies. The rate of unit replacement is not very high for Zozo. I am curious if it is words. My God, what is wrong with me today? I am worried about, or curious about, what happens with Zozo when it does run out of minerals in the main base. Will it long distance mine and try and start up another Nexus? Who knows? But as far as income goes, it is very much in favor of VeTerran. Now the Immortal's moving in again, but that one tank it's just the problem. That Immortal gets saved, hot pickup from the siege tank, but once again there's another bunker and it's taken all the fire. Zozo's target prioritizing here is something special. The tank will actually go down here though. Oh my gosh, is this game not over yet? Like I was like, okay, VeTerran totally is one. No, Zozo's still going. Running on empty in the tank, but still fighting, attacking the natural, and VeTerran basically has to commit to defend this. It's got some resources in its main, but both bots are running very dry. The natural has been broken once again. Every mule that returns money is a big deal, but keep in mind these are bots. It's not like VeTerran's going to use those resources as efficiently as a Terran pro gamer. Now, the Immortals and Stalkers are pushing up the ramp. Oh my gosh, has Zozo done it? I'm not gonna call it again, but it's looking pretty darn good. The Stalkers up the ramp, the Immortals up the ramp. How many kills do these bad boys have? 6, and 14. The Big Daddy leading the charge there. It's like a couple Marines and a Marauder left for VeTerran. Oh my gosh, no way. This is ridiculous. The only question is, does VeTerran float the buildings at the end of the game, and does Zozo have the capability of building a Stargate and long distance mining like that? We'll have to wait and see whether that becomes a factor or not. So far, no buildings lifting off. So far, supply for VeTerran is down to 9. These Ravens kind of run out of places to run away. It's basically Ravens and Medivacs. 2 mules hanging out at the natural base. A couple SCVs being made, but Zozo has done it. What a god. Zozo bot. I know I was a bit tough on it, but it just goes to show some hard work, determination. You can win yourself some ladder points. Be more like Zozo, I guess. And let's take a look here. Command center at the natural base being worked on. VeTerran having a bit of a panic there. Stop, SCV. Okay, it says, all right, Let's make a Marine. Let's do this. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button if you enjoyed this game. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't. I know I post content I don't have a schedule, semi-unregularly. So getting that bell icon goes far when it comes to seeing when I do live stream or put out content or announce tournaments and stuff. Consider becoming a YouTube member if you do enjoy supporting this smaller bot community. Yeah, what a great game. I apologize for the bit of a wonky cast, guys. Sometimes I just don't even know what's coming out of my mouth. A great game though. Oh, the command center is lifting. I don't think it's gonna make it though. I'm not actually 100% sure on the rules for bots or ladders, whether corner floating is allowed for bots or not. This base is going. This base is going. Yeah, see, it's not a beeline or anything. It's just hanging out, waiting to be shot, and then we'll move a little more, so it'll probably burn down. Oh, will it? It's getting kind of close to the edge. No, that's it. GG. VeTerran does indeed GG. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time.